Hi, my name is Sheri Selmeyer, and this is my husband, Barry Kohler. When we moved here 20 years ago, we were like the 500 or so people who are now moving to Nashville every week. We were excited about what the city had to offer, but we were also apprehensive about making such a big move.
Yeah, I remember that we didn't sell our house in North Carolina right away, and we left the doors at our old jobs open probably more than just a little bit so we could go back in case we didn't like it here.
But we did like it. In fact, we loved Nashville from the very beginning, and a big part of that was Christ Church Cathedral, where we met all kinds of loving, faithful, creative people who welcomed us. And in fact, today, 20 years later, a lot of our best friends are people we met at Christ Church Cathedral.
Yeah, Sheri actually moved to Nashville a couple months before I did. But it didn't take long before the phone calls back home were filled with stories about movies she'd seen at the Belcourt, of course, but also the dinners and the programming at Christ Church Cathedral, the Wednesday night programs, and the conversations she had with the members here.
Over the years, we've probably taken advantage of pretty much every program Christ Church Cathedral has to offer. The Adult Sunday School, the Vacation Bible School for our godchildren, the Lenten programs, Bacchanalia, First Friday, the list goes on and on.
And if you haven't seen us at those programs, you probably have seen one of our godchildren, Pony and Blessin and baby Sheri and Eric, who was just baptized a couple weeks ago. They've been involved in Sunday school programming and the Sunday summer Bible school programming, as well as the big event like they had this past year.
Besides all that, Christ Church Cathedral has a robust and generous outreach program that supports numerous organizations like Nashville Cares and Room in the End, and organizations in Iraq and Haiti and Bolivia. And a group that's very important to me, the Family Reconciliation Center, which offers free lodging to families who come to see their loved ones in prison.
And another fledgling group that Sheri and I have been involved in, and Christ Cathedral has been very supportive of, is the Urban Bicycle Food Ministry. So every week on Mondays and Thursdays, a group of about 20 folks get together and put together and roll up about 200 burritos, and then gather in the parking lot of the church, load up our bicycles and head downtown, where we serve the burritos to folks who live downtown but don't have a home and are in need of food. Christ Cathedral support for that group has just been tremendous.
All of this is so important for us as a community, as a congregation, and for those individuals and organizations outside our congregation that we support. This was especially apparent when COVID-19 pandemic hit, and all of a sudden everything came to a screeching halt in that spring of 2020. Christ Church Cathedral did an amazing job of pivoting and immediately offering online services and coming up with all kinds of creative ways to keep us in community. And that includes now the vaccination clinics that are run on Sunday mornings in our church parking lot.
All of this, of course, costs money, and that's why it's more important than ever this year to continue our financial support for Christ Church Cathedral. All the technology to run the online services, the building and staff needed for making sure that these programs are run safely. All those things cost money. And so this year, when the fund driving campaign begins, please remember Christ Church Cathedral and consider increasing your pledge or starting a new pledge, because Christ Church Cathedral is very important for our community and for the community at large.